All right, Coach, just got done with practice. Season quickly approaching here. Sort of talk about the summer and some of the, I guess say, preseason training coming up to this point.
We had a really good summer in the weight room, especially. Had a bunch of kids made 30-plus workouts. Played a little 7-on-7. Probably played 6 or 8 games. Had a good turnout for it. As far as the first 3 weeks of practice here, getting ready for Amory. You know, when you play Amory week 1, it gets the kids' attention. So you don't have to stay on them very much because they know what's on the line. So.
All right, Coach, let's start by talking about the offense. Of course, the offense always focuses around the quarterback. Talk about your quarterback situation and how things are going there.
He's a second-year starter, senior, big arm. Had an up-and-down season last year, but that's expected out of a first-year starter. This year, expect a lot more out of him. Seems to have progressed a lot over the summer and shows a lot more leadership than what he did a year ago. He knows where he goes. He also knows where everybody else is supposed to go, so that always helps when you play quarterback. So.
All right, Coach, and you also talked about the receiving core being improved this year. Talk about some names that are going to be to watch out for and just a little bit on them.
Well, we're really young, but we've got some kids that can run. We've got a few sophomores. A kid named O'Darius Lowe. He's a sophomore. Didn't play much last year. Had his ankle broke, but it's going to turn out to be a pretty big player for us this year. Got a kid named Joe Sullivan. He's a tight end for us. Weighs about 215. Not extremely fast, but he's fast enough to get the job done, as big as he is. Then we got a young man by the name of Patrick Jones, which is another sophomore. Could be the fastest kid on the team. Then we're looking at our tailback, is a sophomore named Corbin White, and he had about 975 yards last year in 5 games. So starting a bunch of young kids at skill positions, but they all got to play a lot last year, you know, as we struggled through last year, and I'm hoping it'll pay off down the road. So.
All right, Coach, and we know you just spent a little bit extra time with your offensive linemen. May not be the best time to talk to you about them right now, but sort of touch on the offensive line, some of the names there as well.
Names, we got Jake Brownlee's our center, Stephen Basham, right guard, Brandon Brunson's our right tackle, Jesse Gillentine's our left guard, Tory Park's our left tackle. Jake, the center, started last year. The other day, he's really probably our only returning starter. But the other 4, at least 3 out of the other 4, played a lot last year. Basham started probably 5 games. He wasn't a starter every week, but he sort of worked himself in. Brandon Brunson, he was our left tackle last year. Probably started 5 games. They didn't start the whole season, but they did start, you know, and get some playing experience under their belts. The other 2 were first-year starters, worked really hard. Especially Jesse Gillentine worked really hard in the weight room, and he's figured things out. And he goes hard every play. Now, he might not block the right person, but he's going to go hard every time.
All right, Coach, and sort of the strong point that I've been hearing throughout the rumor mill is going to be your defense this year. Talk about the defense and sort of some of the guys it starts with and gets the thing going for you guys.
It's going to start with our 2 defensive ends. Nishman Owens is a 3-year starter. He's going to be a senior. Jacob Burt's a 2-year starter. He's going to be a senior. Starts with them, and inside we've got a senior defensive tackle, and we've got a junior, another defensive tackle. So, and all of them have played last year. You know, so all 4 of them coming back. All 4 of them big, strong guys. So up front, it's going to start there. If they can keep them off our linebackers. We got 2 linebackers that have started since they were sophomores, and they're seniors. So they got 3 years experience under the belts now. That's Joe Sullivan and Dalton Sullivan. They're say 3-year starters. A lot's going to ride on them. If we can get some good play out of our linebackers, then we could have a really good season. I believe it just all rides on them. But they've had the experience, and they've looked really good out here so far. So.
All right, now let's talk about your secondary as well. You know, sort of a thing that sort of evolved through the years has been known for speed and stuff like that. Talk about your secondary.
Well, we've got some kids that can run. We've got 1 returning starter in the secondary. Our left corner is Caleb Lanham, led the team in picks last year. Good speed, but he seems to be always around the football, and that's what you want out of a corner. Is you want somebody that's going to be around the football, and somehow he's got the knack for being around the football. Got a new starter in Ontario Gladden. He's our other corner, first-year starter. He'll come up and stroke you. He's more of a hitter probably, but does a good job of coveraging. Returning a free safety. Well, I forgot about him. We're returning a free safety too, and Brandon Neal. So we're returning 2 out of the 3 at those spots. So I feel pretty confident there.
All right, one thing that people really don't touch on that much is special teams, the kicking game, kick returns, stuff like that. How are things shaping up in that department?
We've had, probably put more emphasis on it than any other year I've been coaching. we spent a ton of time with the punt team, because I believe the punt team can get you beat in the first game. And it seems like every first film we watch every year, there's somebody that got a punt block. So we've really concentrated on the punt game. We've concentrated a lot on the kickoff return team. We put a lot more athletes on our special teams this year than what we have in the past. A lot of these kids are going to be playing both ways, but we tried to put a little more speed and not as much size on our special teams, just trying to put an athlete out there. So.
All right, Coach, well, let's break down the region real quick. Talk about some of the top teams and some of the key games you're going to have to face this year.
And no doubt Aberdeen is going to be, I think by everybody going to be picked to win our division. They lost a big quarterback last year and a couple of receivers, but their skill players are as good as anybody's in the state. Winona won our division last year. We don't know a lot about them because they're so far away from us, but it wouldn't doubt me. They beat Louisville last year, so they got to have some talent left over there. It wouldn't doubt me for them to contend for the division title. So, Aberdeen and Winona obviously going to be 1 and 2. Then you got, as far as us, I'd say Water Valley is going to be really strong. South Pontop's going to be improved. Morville's going to be improved. But, as far as, you got to expect, Winona and Aberdeen finishing the way they finished last season to be early season favorites.
All right, Coach, and just we'll recap these sort of real quickly. Team strengths this season, what do you feel like they'll be?
I believe we're going to have good leadership. I think maybe a little bit more leadership than what we've had in the past, because the kids have, we put them through the ringer. They've been tested in every way we could test them. I think that's sort of bringing them together. So team chemistry, some leadership. I think we're going to play a lot harder than what we played, last season, and that's what we have emphasized since last spring was, play hard and good things will happen, and we believe that, and they believe that. So.
All right, Coach, and along with the positives, go with the negative now. Team weaknesses, some of the things that sort of draw your attention and draw some concerns early.
Like I said, the offensive line, it's going to always be a concern when we got some guys that played a lot last year, but not really starters. Them gelling together, I think we're solid, but I think it's going to take them a while to gel together. Young at the skill positions on offense, turn the lights on Friday night, and it's a whole lot different ball game from sitting out here at this practice field. And these young kids, it seems to get on their nerves a little bit more than an older kid. So that's going to be a big concern. Not having negative plays is a big concern. Even in the spring, we had a problem with that. Bad snaps. Snaps is from the good year we had in 07, we had all those skills, and we got through that season. Asked me who one player I could have back, and it would have been our center. And this center, he's turning out to be a good center, but that's the most important part of any spread offense. I mean, if he's got to be able to snap it to the exact spot at the exact time every time. So that's a concern. Turnovers, any coach is going to tell you that it's turnovers, but I feel like if we can control the ball and not beat ourselves, that we're going to be good enough on defense to be in the game in the fourth quarter, and that's what you want to be, is be in the game in the fourth quarter. So.
All right, Coach, and you got Amory open up the season with. Give you a chance now to sort of invite the Tiger Nation out and get ready for what it's going to be an exciting ball game.
We're going to need a lot of fan involvement, no doubt. Amory's got a tradition over there, and this is a rivalry. Everybody around here knows it. I'd expect both sides to be full. First game, I don't know that we've ever played Amory for the first game, so that's first game's usually got a lot more fans than any other one, and then you play an Amory on top of it. So we could use as many fans as we get out there, and it'll be a good football game. They're very well coached. Coach Bird, been there a long time, and he's going to have them in the right spot, doing the right things, and it's probably going to be a war, So it's just going to be a war. That's all I can tell you about it.
All right, Coach, we'll appreciate taking time out of your day, man, and good luck, and season's ready to start.
Yes, sir.